of you are new in meditation? New means practically a beginner. The rest of you have got something about meditation, correct? No, then why don't you raise up your hand? How many of you are without any knowledge of meditation? Please hands up. Clearly, not half-heartedly. Then you know something. Ah, good. All right, down. How many of you who are really quite good in meditation? Hands up. Quite good means you know what are you doing in your course of your meditation. You must let me know. Say for example, 2 years, 3 years. How many of you? You dare not put yourself on that standard yet. Huh? Oh. Yes, thank you. I think I got this. So practically very new, isn't it? But before I begin, I'm going to tell you, when the Buddha got this enlightenment, and the first talk he gave was Dhamma Chakrapavatana, the 5 persons where he addressed this crowd. And in that talk, he mentioned, not by self-mortification, not by enjoying the senses. In between is the middle path. And this middle path is nothing but just the Noble Eightfold Path. Right understanding, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These are called the Noble Eightfold Path. It is very important. And in the last day when he was about to pass away, what was the talk that he gave? Also the Noble Eightfold Path. There was one Subhadda who who asked the Buddha. Before he could ask the Buddha, already the Buddha was quite ill. So he spoke to Ananda. Ananda, please allow me to see the Buddha. Then Ananda refused. He said, the master has been here 45 years. It is not proper to trouble him at this period of his life when he is actually, we can call it quite dyspneic, or very probably he is quite tired. And still Ananda refused him, but he waited for some time. He asked again the second time. Still Ananda refused. But the third time when he asked, the Buddha heard. And he said, don't stop him, Ananda. Ask him to come. And then when he came in, of course he saluted the Buddha and said, Reverend Sir, there are so many people telling me this is correct, that is correct, this is correct, that is correct. Can you tell me, are those people correct or not? By saying that their way is the only way. So the Buddha said, Subhadda, don't bother whether those things are correct or not correct. But I will just tell you one thing. If anybody has got this Noble Eightfold Path, then that is correct. So today, Noble Eightfold Path is a very important thing. And a lot of people are meditating all over. And if you ask them, do you follow the Noble Eightfold Path? Do you tell lies? Do you sometimes occasionally cheat your friends? Usually they keep quiet. Keep quiet means understood lah. What more again? So it is when these people are not practicing well. Like people like us who are monks, who have given up everything. I won't cheat you. I won't lie to you. I talk to you sincerely. So I'm in a better position to tell you exactly. And it is only in these people who are very persevering, they are the people will be quite successful. Because the Noble Eightfold Path is very, very important. Actually, this morning somebody argued with me that Krishnamurti, he was saying that the Buddha's method is wrong. That is because in Krishnamurti's or Theosophical society, there is no Eightfold Path. So when you have no Noble Eightfold Path, you are outside the Noble Eightfold Path. After having the Noble Eightfold Path, you must have correct mindfulness. So two things come in very handy and you must know before you start. And there Buddha said it. Only this one type of meditation that will really take you out of samsara. That's what the Buddha said. He told all his disciples, Eka yano ayang bikawe mago Sattanang visuddhiya sukha paridevanang Samatikamaya dukkha domanasanang attangamaya Nayasa adigamaya Nibbanasa satchakiriyaya Yadida chattaro satipatthana. These are the exact words of the Buddha. Having got your Noble Eightfold Path and you follow the correct mindfulness, which is the fourfold application of mindfulness, you are sure to get your Maggapala, or you will attain. And what did the Buddha say before he left? He says, so long as there is the Noble Eightfold Path, and you practice correct mindfulness, you will surely get your attainment. And when you get your attainment, I will tell you, it is a very wonderful thing. Just like striking social welfare lottery first prize 5 times, say 5 million. What is 5 million to you? You can't bring it along. You leave everything behind. But you are safe in samsara. No more apaya bhumi. No more rebirth in the woeful states. And you are going to be born, at the least, a human being with full of intelligence. So you'll find that actually we are now still within the sasana. 5,000 years the Buddha said. And today we are 2,500 over years. So never mind, you are still in time. But follow it correctly. At the moment I will tell you, the whole wide world is full of a lot of teachers teaching you meditation. But do they follow the fourfold application of mindfulness? No. Very simple. And what is the fourfold application of mindfulness? The fourfold application of mindfulness is you must concentrate on body or matter. You must concentrate on matter, feelings, your mind, and your mind objects. In other words, you are concentrating on the 5 khandhas, or you can call the 5 khandhas the 5 component parts of a human being. So long as you do not know what is meditation, I will just tell you, we are very vague. Now I will ask you, you will find a little girl walking about because of her beauty and the age and the youth and everything. She will say, every time I go, people want to look at me. This girl will say it like that. Every time I go, what is the I? It is the body that is the I. Where the body goes, people want to look at him. So you look, I has become the body. But on another occasion you say, I'm very sad, I'm really very sad that people ignored me. Now let us, I am sad. What is the I? Sadness, feeling is there. So you see, just now the body is the I, now the feeling is the I. Another time you said, when you walked into my room, I was aware that it was you. I saw you. I recognized you. The mind is there. Or you can say the memory is there. Or you can even say consciousness is there. Oh, well, I look you baking a nice cake. Wow, I'm hungry. Greed is the thing, is the I is there. Greed. Oh, I'm full of compassion. Oh, your compassion is the I. So you see the I is hopping about. You find the thing all hopping about. And the Buddha told us, meditate on these 5 component parts that people call I. And if you meditate very well, you will see there is no I. And when there is no I, there cannot be any my. When no I, no my, then you find you have attained Satapatti, Satapan. Wonderful. But how do you get it? Not so easy. If easy, there will be a lot of arahants already. Not easy. But I'm going to tell you, I was formerly a hospital assistant. And then there is such a thing as we do things by culture. I have a petri dish. Have you all, some of you are in the science stream. You know petri dish? Saucers, cups, saucers like things, 5 or 6 cups. And they have jelly. And they have got this media, acid media 1, acid media 2, acid media 3, acid media 4, acid medium 5 or 6. And they take the organism, stir it up in the jelly and put 1 drop. Another drop, another drop, another drop. After some time, the germs multiply. And not by just learning by heart or anything, by just watching, you will get your knowledge. How? You take acid 1, you put under a microscope, you look. 20 million organisms. Then you take acid 2, 40 million organisms. You take acid 3, 60 million. So you know it's going up. Acid 1 is less, acid 2 is more, acid 3 is more, acid 4, oh, it has come down, from 60 it comes down. So acid 5 is dwindling, dwindling, dwindling. And that's where you get your knowledge, by just watching. So Vipassana is something like that. Just watch. Anything that you see, watch, watch. And you see it arise, it's gone, arise, it is gone. Don't think. When you think, it is now. You say, oh, the Buddha says everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. No, this is anicca. That is anicca. Well, these are all useless. This is called book knowledge. Or this is called, maybe called theory knowledge, or maybe called your thinking knowledge. But the real thing you must see for yourself with bare attention. You see them dissolving. Real. Genuinely you develop these things are called impermanency. And how do you do it? You just watch it and you see this fellow dwindle off. Another thing you watch, dwindles off. Another thing you watch, dwindles off. But you cannot see it now. Why? Because you are not concentrated. So when you practice concentration, you will find your meditation, your concentration gets deeper and deeper. And the first thing you see, why you all cannot concentrate? Because there are 5 things that always disturb you from concentration. You all try. Examination time you try. What is blocking you? The first thing is a lot of stray thoughts. You are reading, preparing for tomorrow's exam, and stray thoughts. I'm hungry lah. I think better. I smell something. I think better go and eat. After eating, say, I'm already too full. Let me rest for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. After 5 or 10 minutes, it may be 1 hour, 2 hours. So you see, sense object disturb you. Another thing is that your anger. Every time when I'm concentrating, that fellow, hopeless fellow, man. Every time when I'm concentrating, he must play on his radio and TV and all this nonsense. Stupid fellow, man. Anger has already irritated you. So when anger is disturbing you, how can you concentrate? Full of anger, face red, and you probably cast your glances so in and there. So, two things. Third thing, you'll find that every time you concentrate, because it is so calm, and you say, then you go to sleep. I'm too tired. Last night I studied up to 3 a.m. I think I have another half an hour rest. But the half hour became 3 hours. Because you're so tired. So the third thing that disturbs you. And the fourth thing is what you call restlessness. It disturbs you. And what is this restlessness? You sit like that, and this restlessness comes from where? The sixth sense door. The eye door, the ear door, nose door, the mouth, the touch. All this will. So when you are meditating, you smell something. Who is that nasty fellow? Give a fart and never turn. Is that a hopeless fellow? So all these things are what we call restlessness of mind will keep on coming. This restlessness will keep on coming. And it comes in the form of stray thoughts. Continuously. And if you don't watch one stray thought, daughter's stray thoughts, granddaughter's stray thoughts, great-granddaughter's stray thoughts, and you're concentrating on the stray thoughts for probably half an hour, then you know, I'm not meditating, I've been thinking. So no meditation. And the last thing is doubts. Doubts. And these things is not in you only. It is with everybody, even with a professor who is a very smart man. Also sometimes he will have this thought of 5 hindrances. And it is only when you concentrate so well that these 5 hindrances are suppressed. And when they are suppressed, of course, in the beginning is temporarily. In that state where no hindrances are disturbing you, you enter some sort of a samadhi, a concentrated mind. And when you are in a concentrated mind, you'll find that all your effort is only on that watching of what you are watching. In our case, I was brought up from Burma, so I was watching the rising and the falling of the abdominal wall. So I was watching only that. So when the 5 hindrances are being suppressed, you see nothing but just the rise and the fall, rise and the fall, rise, fall, rise, fall, rise, fall. So much so that it is so clear that there is no such thing as an I or a mind. There's only a rising. There's only, after, you know that it is arising. After some time you see, after arising it comes down. After coming down it goes up. Without the I, clear and certain that only at this moment there was this rising, there was this falling. And actually only 2 actors in this scene. There's this rising, that the body is rising, and the mind knows it is rising. When it is falling, you see that there is this falling, which the body is falling, and the mind knows it is falling. No I, no you, no he, no she, because it is so clear, away from hindrances. And these sort of things, when it penetrates deeper and deeper, you will actually see at this moment, there is this rising, this mind knowing, this falling, this mind knowing, up and down. Then you find it change. It may get slower, it may get faster. Then you know, when it has changed, you know it's changing. And when it knows that it is changing, you understand this change is not myself. There is no I to control. It goes by itself. It is getting faster. It is getting slower. So he understands there is no I, no you, no he, no she. It is a process that is going on. So he keeps on watching. He will find that there is always an object and a knowing mind. Another object and a knowing mind. When there is an itch, he will see the itch. Very irritating. And then he just watch. And then he will see that there is an irritation. And after some time he say, must not, just watch. Don't scratch. But after some time, the tendency to scratch comes. And sometimes it is so sharp that you can see. There is the idea to scratch. Intending to scratch. Then you will find lifting. And clear certain, where is the intention, then the motion comes. Then he starts scratching. Normally you scratch like that. But in that concentrated mind, you just touch, you know touching. You scratch once, twice, no more itch. Then you are satisfied, no more itch. Putting down. Rising, falling. After some time he sees, what is it? Rising consciousness gone, falling consciousness gone, rising consciousness gone, falling consciousness gone. He is seeing it bit by bit. Because he is in a concentrated mind. But the funny thing is that there are three types of concentration. One type of concentration we call what we call access concentration. I won't trouble you with a lot of these Pali things. Access concentration, you just know there is this concentration, then you are seeing it is rising, it is falling, it is rising, it is falling. This access concentration, you are quite clear, but you still don't go your consciousness is still in the what you call sensual type of world yet. You have not gone to the higher stage. But after some time, when the access concentration is so strong, you enter into another stage where you call appana. Appana means all the concentrated thing is in the rupa plane. There are three planes, what we call sensual world, material world, and the non-material world. So by concentrating on that, the concentration is on the lower plane. After that it be elevated to the rupa plane. When it is in the rupa plane, we call him, he has attained jhanas. J-H-A-N-A-S, that's jhanas, not yanas, N-A-N-A-S. Yanas is wisdom or knowledge. This is jhanas, ecstasy, some sort of ecstasy. And there he attains a jhana. But this access concentration and what you call this appana, the two things belong to the world of serenity when you are practicing samatha meditation. But we who are practicing the Vipassana meditation, we only watch for one type of meditation we call Khanika Samadhi. Khanika means momentary samadhi. We just watch. There's only this rising, falling, and the mind knowing. And it is temporarily because you do not go very deep into it. Because the nature of your practice is this. You are watching another object. Another matter comes, you watch another object. Another matter comes, you watch another object. But in samatha, you concentrate on this one object all the time. I will give you an example. Supposing I am doing anapanasati, then I just watch my breathing. And if I am doing the samatha method, I will say, in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably up to 10, then he starts again. That is called, he just concentrate on the breathing, in, out. Sometimes say in and out 1, in and out 2. But he say in 1, out 1, in, out 1, out 1. Counting. It is quite different from our Vipassana. Our Vipassana, supposing you are doing, if you are doing anapanasati, you can, alright, breathing, because a lot of people are doing breathing, I know in KL. On down here we are watching the rising and falling movement. You just watch. Let us say you watch the breathing in. He never counts. In, he knows. Out, he knows. Itch, he knows. Desire to scratch, he knows. Then the lifting of the hand, he knows. Then the touching, he knows. Then the itch disappears, he knows. Then he puts down, he knows. Then he watch. In, out, pain. He never watched the pain already. He never watched other things. Pain. And he saw the pain as something, geram lah. Scratch lah. Suvanno said, don't scratch lah. Curi tengok lah. Every little moment he knows. So they are changing objects here. And you see that one object, one mind, because you are in samadhi. Samadhi means you only see occurring of this. And when it's coming down, you know it's coming down. There is no, my stomach is going up. My stomach is coming down. So, I'm going to give you a little talk more on all these things. So if you understand these things, you are going to be very interesting. If you really just watch, in our place we watch the rising and the falling movement. And if you really watch, you will find that rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling. Very easy, Suvanno. I done it very well. I can see the rising and falling. But it is not that, you know. Frankly speaking, it is not so easy. If you really practice more and more, you will find that your concentration as a beginner, you will find that the rising is only as it is going up. You'll find that only the middle portion you see it very well. Why? Because it is going so fast, and your mind is slow. So you see, I can see, tuk, 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 tuk. This part no, this part no, this part no, this part no. So he's only seeing the central part. And he keeps on practicing better, then it is going to be perfected better. And you see, the beginning is seen. The middle part is seen. And before he could see the third part, he has to get ready for another one that is coming down. So he's concentrated here. 1, 2. And then before he wants to see the third one, he missed the last one. He jumps 1, 2. So normally these things are like that. But if you keep on concentrating more and more, until you become so perfect, you see from the beginning of the rising till the end of the rising, beginning of the falling till the end of the falling. By watching, not by any other thing. Nothing to by heart. So simple. Watch, watch, watch. Then, now he will watch. Then, now he will tell you, I say, I can see it very clearly. Okay, very clearly. Now, if he keeps on meditating more and more, he will see the next thing is that when there is a rising, there will be a falling. That everybody knows. When there is a rising, there must be a fall. When there is a rising, there must be a fall. And then he says, no wonder the Buddha said, when there is a rising, there will be a falling. I've seen it. Why? There's a rising and a falling, then a little break. He's able to distinguish there's a gap, small little gap. And then it keeps on again, rising, falling. So everything arises, fall. Everything arises, fall. Then he said, what Suvanno said is correct. When there's a rising, there's a falling. Then another rising, then another falling. Correct. But if you keep on meditating, I'm cutting short all these things. You keep on meditating, then you will see. When there's a rising, a little gap. When there's a falling, a little gap. There's a rising, a little gap. A falling, a little gap. Here he tells you, whatever arises, and our Chinese call Sing Hua. I don't know whether you all can understand Hokkien or not. Sing Hua. Can understand? Arising, disappearing. Arising, disappearing. And this is one phenomena. This is another phenomena. Every phenomena is by itself. So he realized every phenomena is by itself an object. So he says, just now I said the two things as one object. Now I see it as rising as one object, falling another object, rising another object. Seeing is one object, hearing another object, smelling another object, tasting another object. If you look carefully, different. Rising is the going up. Falling is the coming down. And he keeps on watching, keep on rising, falling. And then what is going to happen? He is going to see more. And what will he see this time? Don't think that seeing vision, you are going to see a beautiful angel with a beautiful face. That is not what the vision, the Buddha says. Vision means you understand, seeing things as they really are. Not as angels or beautiful women, no. So he keeps on. And you will find that this time when the concentration is more advanced, you will see it as probably rising, falling. And then he said, every time when I see the rising as one phenomena, I've seen it as two. Rising, disappearing, falling, disappearing, falling, disappearing. He sees it that anything that is one phenomena is seen as a multiple phenomena. Occurrences, multiple occurrences. And this is where he learned. This is knowledge. everything that arises is a kochen. Kochen, I don't know where kochen means. It's a Chinese language. Kochen means a process. If you keep on watching again, keep on watching, what is going to happen? This time you see. Up, up. Now you look. Rising, disappearing, rising, disappearing, rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling. He's seeing that coaching process so clearly. So these things, when I was 12 years old, I remembered I saw something like a fluorescent light. When they were playing badminton, they play with a lock, big lock. Olden days, they play a big lock. The man who serve, very big lock. And then when I saw the shuttlecock coming down, I saw it as a vibration. I don't know whether you all see it as a vibration, but to me, at the age of 12, I saw it as a vibration. And I said, how come I can see this sort of thing? Actually, this is vibration. And you see such as a kochen. And what is this? Just now you already said rise, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling, rising, falling, rising. And as you go deeper and deeper, you'll find that. So you have understood as kochen or process. Now use this kochen and process in your everyday meditation. How? I'm going to tell you. When you hear a voice, so anybody who said, it's my same hand who goes out, it's the same hand that comes in, is wrong. The Buddha said, when it is going out, it is a vibration. And you get this one, when you get your samadhi, when you have no samadhi, you won't see it. You are imagining it. Then you see there's a vibration. Then you understand. Then you know, this is wonderful. Everything is a rising and falling. And what is this rising and falling? Anicca. And what is anicca? There is knowledge. Everything is a continuous arising and disappearing. Even you take your first step. When you take your first step, lifting, you see it as a vibration. And when you stretch out, see it as a vibration. And when it comes down, you see it as a vibration. But that is not all. If you keep on seeing like that as a vibration, then you come to a certain stage. You want to stretch out. Although you stretch out slowly, you don't see anything at all. Empty. Then when you push out, you say, "Oh, sudah sampai sana lah." When you put out, sudah sampai bawah lah. And this is how it has been telling you. Everything is a disappearing, a rising and a disappearing. And you see the disappearing very well. And when you see the disappearing very well, do you learn by knowledge? How do you learn it? Not by books. You see it for yourself. So sometimes when you meditate, as you are seeing the stomach going up and down, first you see the stomach going up. And then you see it disappears. As it goes up, it disappears. As it goes up, it disappears. Then you see, when it is going up, the mind, the concentrating mind disappears, and even the thing you do not see. So all these things are knowledges. And when you see, only when you see anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means impermanency. And everything that is changing is very unsatisfactory. And when it's unsatisfactory, it's not I. Then, when it is fast, do you accept it? No, it came by itself. And then when it gets slow, so very slow, are you controlling it? No, it came by itself. It won't go fast. Ask him to come down fast. It won't. Very slow. Chuk, 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 chuk. And you take it as a vibration. Chuk, 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 chuk. You are seeing anicca, dukkha, anatta, anicca, dukkha, anatta. And once you see this anicca, dukkha, anatta, when it is matured, Nibbana will be seen. You will understand Nibbana. You will see it for yourself. Not seeing with the eye, seeing with the mind's eye. And when you see it with the mind's eye, you know. If you listen to some of my tips. When it is coming, you know it is coming. When it comes, you do not know it comes. After it has come, you know, I've already got it. And what is going to happen? There's a change in you. What is going to be the change in you? You understand what is this emptiness, void, non-self, no I, no you, no he, no she. We are all living in the conceptual world. Everything we use is concept. If you say, I've seen Nibbana, then I say, tell me, what is it? How is it? Is it long? Is it short? You say, cannot tell. Every word you use is a concept. So we are living in a conceptual world. Supposing you have seen Nibbana, you say, it is emptiness. What is emptiness? When I came in, there was no one. And I said, this hall is empty. You have got an idea that it's empty with nobody inside. But that is not emptiness. But the real emptiness, you will understand when you get it. So this is my little talk on this. So every time you see, the Buddha tells us again and again, you must have the right attitude when you are meditating. So when you see hearing, you will understand hearing as a quotient. When the sound is a dragging sound, you also imagine as a quotient. Ah, then you drag on. Because the Buddha said, everything is a process going on. And if you don't know Abhidhamma, how come no more in lah? Apa? And our mind is a process. And how does it work? It is going on at this speed. Pop, 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 pop. How many times? More than 1 billion times per flash of a lightning, per snap of 2 fingers, per wink of an eye. The Buddha mentioned it 3 times. So every time when you wink your eye, 1 billion times. So nobody can see. Even Mahabrahma cannot see. Even the other higher Brahmas also cannot see. It is only the Buddha who could see it. And when you practice your meditation, you won't see it as more than 1 billion times. If you can see it once, let us say 100 times per minute, you are already good. And you see one object, one mind, another object, another mind, another object, another mind. And how do you get it? Because you are in concentration. If you have no concentration, no. But when you have got concentration, you don't get it immediately. There are other qualities that will come. Your saddha will improve. Saddha means your faith. Very wonderful, man. Now, every time when I meditate, I experience this, I experience that. You are stirred up by faith. Then energy. That is the time when you are very hardworking. People ask you to come. Huh? No, I like to do this. You all carry on. So, virya, energy, very sharp. And then the third one, every time he concentrates, he sees new events and full of interest. And it is all these new events that change you one by one. I will talk to you later on. So one by one. Then his concentration is so good that His mindfulness is so sharp that his what you call concentration becomes so wonderful. And then wisdom will come. And the wisdom will come, it will show you. But before it shows you, a lot of things are coming. Such things like sometimes you meet a friend and the friend says, hello, how are you? And then formally that fellow must have hurt you, but at that moment you understand, this was the man whom I quarreled, and after all, it's no point. Today he called me and I say, hello, how are you? And you probably peck him more because you understand. So changes are going on in you. And sometimes when your friends come and say, Suvanno, if I've done anything wrong, can you please forgive me? And spontaneously you understand that there was that mind and matter that conflicts with my mind and matter. Now I understand. It was this mind and matter conflicting with that mind and matter. And this mind and matter is going on at this rate more than 1 billion times during the flash of a lightning, during the snap of 2 fingers, during the wink of an eye. And later on, I will talk on all these things later on. So you must understand that these things comes to you. And a lot of things will be coming. There will be certain times, see, as you are getting all these experiences, the first thing you will find that your leg and body disappears. Why it disappears? I will tell you why. This consciousness, this what you call mind and matter, is going at such a terrific speed, so fast, you cannot see them. But when your concentration is good, you are able to see them. And when you see them in another perspective. Now I will ask you a few questions. How many of you have never been up on the train? Anybody who has never been up on the train? Never been up on the train now? Ah, yeah. You are really wonderful man now. Train also never sat down now. Wonderful man. Now I will give you an example. This is a coach that is going to Kuala Lumpur. I'm sitting on this chair. There are windows, correct? When I put out my head and look at the things behind me, do I see the lamppost very well? Very clear, isn't it? Shop, 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 shop. You see the rows of lampposts very clearly. One, another one, chop, chop. Sometimes you can hear the sound. Can you not? Carefully you watch, there's a sound. So what is past, you can see very clearly. What is the future? You look, chomp, 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 chomp. Then you can see the row. Still very clear. Now you concentrate on the immediate now, here and now. You concentrate your path to the extent of just able to see the pillar that is passing. Chomp, 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 chomp. Can you see the pillar? Cannot. So that's where some people say, when I come to certain stage, when I stretch out my leg, I don't see my leg. Well, I know it has come there. When I go down, top is there. When I leave up is there. In between, and when slowly moving also, you don't see anything. And that's where you see sometimes your rising and falling disappears. So all these things tells you according to science. So you are seeing in the immediate present and you don't see it so clearly. So that is called knowledge. And when this knowledge comes, your subconscious mind is experiencing. And your subconscious mind will tell you, apa barang surmari dandan habis. And this fellow will tell, what is there to see? All unsatisfactory. And then this unsatisfactoriness, you come, certain time you get fear. Palpitation heart. There was one doctor who actually was following me. And one day he reached this place of fear. Then he told his, he went to another doctor. Doctor, please examine. I do not know. Suddenly I have palpitation heart. And that doctor took an ECG and found nothing. Say, there's nothing lah. But I'm getting it lah. Please see lah. None. Afternoon he practiced again and he got another attack. He went to another doctor to make sure. That fellow also said nothing. So you find this subconscious mind is experiencing unsatisfactoriness. Then you find you get disgusted with things. Meditating, you get disgusted. Why you're disgusted? You want to take food. Ada makan, tara makan, tak apalah. You're not interested in this. Let them go and see pictures. I don't want to see pictures. Then study. Allah, don't care lah. Not interested in anything. And this is because the subconscious mind is experiencing nothing in this world is satisfactory. Today you feel happy. Can you keep the happiness up to tomorrow? Cannot. Somebody dash into cilaka. Oh, you bang on me. You score cilaka already. So you find that temporarily everything that comes disappear, disappear. So this nibbida or adinava all comes to you. Then you keep on practicing. Then you find yourself extreme pain. Adoy. Formerly I can sit 1 hour, now I sit 10 minutes only, so painful. You have reached a stage called hypersensitivity. Formerly a small pain, you say small pain. Now you say a small pain, a terrible pain. And that's how you suffer. And that's how, and when you see this temporary pain, sometimes you have certain of these thoughts coming to you. And these thoughts you must tell your Sayadaw, the pain was so terrible. When the pain came, I would say to myself, this is pain in earth, If you go down to hell, the pain is 1,000 times this. I don't know how I'm going to suffer. So these thoughts push you along. Push you along to understand the real nature of suffering in this world. And when you are pushed along by these things, you become very energetic. You start meditating. You can understand. I'm sorry I have to tell a little joke like that. But better run away. If you don't run away, you mati lah. So that's where people struggle very hard. Some of them you see struggling very hard. Sometimes in the whole night they won't sleep. Sometimes they sleep for 2-3 hours. Why? They have come to a certain stage they really want to experience. And when this pain suddenly disappears, then you'll find you are a different person. Don't think it's a not Lord. You see that equanimity of mind. Nothing disturbs you. People scold you. Don't care. You will never smile. You will never get angry. People praise you. You even don't care. We look at food. Ada makan, tara makan, tak apalah. Not interested, everything. But calm and peaceful. And sometimes when he sits down and meditates, automatically the rising and falling comes by itself. He never put effort. It will come by itself. And this will be continuous for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And this is called Sankhara Upeka, the 11th Jhana. And if you are lucky enough, the next one is going to be Anuloma. And what is Anuloma? That is the time to tell you whether you are ready to become a Sotapanna or not. How? I will tell you. Since you are concentrating on the rising and falling, at that moment, Only the rising and falling is seen. And it is so clear that you can see it as moments of Kochen. Kochen means process. You see so clearly, very clearly. And when this anuloma comes, that's why I say, you know that it is coming. If you are ready, sometimes you put on a ghost gear, you go balik. Because you are not ready. So you find that you are in a different position. You are very sharp, automatically so sharp that you see it as a continuous process of dust. Just like you put your hand across the comb. That's Kochen. So clear, so nice, so wonderful. And if you really attain, cessation is there. If you don't attain, you pulang balik, ghostan balik. Why? Because you are not ready. Kaliao, not enough. Your condition is not proper. You have been too fast indeed. Your time of coming is not matured. So you go backwards. So I'm just talking you up to this thought level to encourage you all to try hard. But the trying hard is very difficult because many things block you. And you are going to get your Kanika Samadhi. After some time you see the Samadhi disappears and you go back to your normal sensual experiment. So you'll find that you pass through this crisis. But if you are persevering enough, you keep on trying, after 2 years, 3 years, you might get your attainment. With that, I'm just going to to close my talk and let you all ask me any questions that you like. I think I've taken 1 hour. So anybody who would like to ask me any questions can do so. But frankly speaking, all of you, I mean you, the most important thing is that take care of your bowl of rice, pass first, and then go all out later on. But if you are ready to go, come during the holidays. You can go to MBMC or you can come to Lunas. All in Singapore, and in what you call in Kuala Lumpur, there are so many places to go. So with that, I close my talk today. Of course, we will see any questions that you all like to ask. You are not ready to ask anything because all these things are... I know there are a lot of people that say, vision arises in me. And the word V-I-S-I-O-N, then they say, vision means a goddess of mercy comes. And then say, I saw the goddess of mercy. That is all wrong. Vision means you see things as they really are. And what is the things that you see as really are? Everything is an arising and disappearing. And I'm going to tell you, every minute, every second, every fraction of a second, you take one cell of your body and analyze. Today you take, another moment you take, different. If you put your hand into the Ganges river, take it out, immediately put it back, you are not touching the same water. Understand that? You see, this is a continuous flowing on. Can understand now? So, let us say how the body is changing. Every minute, every second, different cell. How? I will give you in some sort, but not in this meditation way. I'm just from the philosophical way. When you take your food, the stomach digests, correct? And they absorb what? Protein. They absorb other things. Can I say carbohydrates? They absorb all other things. And when the abdomen absorb all this food, and they flow, and they go along the tributaries. And what will happen when you meet the first cell? They sort of say, I want protein. So he takes out protein. But when he takes out protein, he must give something back. So he gives out some amino acids. So protein saya mau, amino acids saya buang. And amino acids throw. Another fellow say, I don't want protein, I want oxygen. He takes oxygen and he throws away carbon. Another fellow say, I want carbohydrates. He throws away some other things, maybe carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. He throws away. Every minute, every second, the cell is changing. The constituents all are changing. And they will keep on changing as long as you live.